We're taking a peek into geek culture and sharing our top 10 fandom favorites. Let Your Geek Side Show presents Geek Culture Countdown. Hey guys, this is Kitty.
And this is Susan.
And we're coming to you live from the Sideshow Studios in sunny California. Welcome back to the Geek Culture Countdown. Today we're digging through the comic book closet to bring you our list of the top 10 costume changes in Marvel Comics. These outfit updates are mostly practical and extremely fashionable, whether upgrading a hero's artillery or just fixing an unfortunate costume faux pas. Fashion is always changing, and so are these stylish comic book characters. Listen along to find out which Marvel superhumans took their looks from zero to hero with a quick costume change. Let's get started.
Okay, this is so much fun.
This one was a lot of fun because we had to look at it from several different viewpoints where, first of all, why would you make a costume change? A lot of heroes use it to upgrade their artillery or because they got a promotion, so to speak. I mean, saying a superhero got a promotion is kind of weird, but when they change the mantle, like Captain America, Bucky's black costume or the costume.
Yeah, but we mostly stuck with like the same person wearing the costume.
Right. So we also looked at first appearances are tough. First impressions and literally first appearances sometimes can be a little rough for superheroes, especially depending on what era they showed up in. Especially as superhero comics have become more respected. Some people are designing the costumes with the movies in mind, or just the artistic caliber has changed or evolved over the years.
Absolutely.
So we're this blog is better accompanied, or this podcast is better accompanied by visuals. We will be putting up a blog that shows you all of these unfortunate and more stylish costume changes. So let's just get started. This one had a lot of fun with this one because it also shows how much the hero has changed, or why they've changed when they change their outfit. Number 10 on our list is Squirrel Girl. So Squirrel Girl infamously first debuted in Marvel Superheroes number 8, created by Will Murray and Steve Ditko in 1991. And I say infamously because she was mostly remembered for being a joke character who, Marvel Comics always introduces background characters and then they just go into the long file list of we're probably never going to see them again, or they'll show up for jokes. And so Squirrel Girl wasn't really intended to be a long-run character. She was a superhero hopeful. She wanted to join Iron Man as his partner, but she didn't really quite make the first impression that she should have. In her debut, she wore a full gray bodysuit with a fur vest, fur leg warmers, fur gloves, a red utility belt, and then she has her tail. But the most striking thing was she had 4-pointed black star eye makeup, which I've never seen a squirrel that looks like that, so I don't know where that came from. And then, of course, she's got her big buck teeth, so this was pretty terrifying to look at, and Iron Man wasn't so impressed until she took down Dr. Doom with a legion of squirrels. But most people did consider her a joke character, and she disappeared for a few decades until she showed back up in the early 2000s. In 2014, she got a total makeover by Erica Henderson for the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl series, and now she has a much more modern and stylish design with a brown bomber jacket, a lot less fur, a new utility belt that looks a lot better with her costume, and then she also has a headband with squirrel ears, so you can kind of get the distinction between she doesn't have ears, but she does have a tail. So it's just a much more modern and practical costume. The fur vest is horrible.
Yeah,
and
that's rough.
They tried to make it better by kind of making it like a shirt, but that's not any better.
No.
But that horrible fur stuck around for a while. So Squirrel Girl went from zero to hero as number 10 on our list because she used to look like nightmare fuel.
Number 9 on our list is not so much nightmare fuel, but her costume was insanely impractical when she first appeared. Number 9 on our list is Elektra, created by Frank Miller. And I always found her costume to be quite fascinating because it looks really cool aesthetically, like the red and the silk and the bands and all the different ties and her headpiece.
And sometimes her earrings.
Yeah. But if you were an assassin, why would you ever choose to wear that? Especially because it's bright red. There's so much about her costume that well, I get the look you were going for, but you are a covert assassin. Why would you wear that? So I'm not even saying that this is necessarily an upgrade, but personally, I liked her look the best in the Daredevil Netflix series. It was practical. it had nods to the original look, but also was an upgrade. But in the comics, Adi Granoff gave her a nice, sleek, one-shouldered, because she always only has the one shoulder, black onesie that practicality-wise is probably the best costume upgrade that she's gotten. She's gone through other iterations of the red, where one time she was just wearing that exact costume but white, and that exact costume but black. So, you know, is that an upgrade? Not so much, but like the one like it's like a sleek cat suit, and then it has like a red sash,
and she's got
one shoulder.
Does she have a red mask? Kind of?
She does, but it doesn't pull up the way the one in Daredevil does. It just kind of wraps around like a bandana. You can't see this is audio, not visual, but I'm like making like a thing over my face where you could see my eyes, but not the rest of my face.
We'll put pictures in the blog.
Yeah, but
not
the Adi Granoff
of the costume.
Yes, of the costume. So number 9 on our list is Elektra.
Ooh. So number 8 on our list is Luke Cage. Sometimes, okay, to be fair, sometimes you just really can't beat a classic costume. I mean, things evolve. It's different seeing it on the page than it is on a live action person, or when you're trying to make that blessed cosplay that has so many pieces. But Luke Cage's classic look is beloved by fans. However, fashion fades and the times change. And so sometimes you just have to update. Luke Cage's original Power Man costume.
Can't wear like platform boots anymore? What?
Not anymore. I mean, you could. He really could. And I'm sure Luke Cage, no one would challenge him. He's the kind of guy that like, I don't want to.
No, like if you still want to rock those bell bottoms and platform boots, you totally can.
You don't want to be the guy to tell him he looks bad. But his original costume is well loved by fans, especially for what are dubbed affectionately the tiara and bracelets. These are his silver headband and silver gauntlets.
I mean, not gonna lie, I love those.
I mean, yeah, I love the tiara. And when we got that little shout out in the Netflix series when he's in Seagate Prison, just so good. But he also, of course, famously had a fro, flare top yellow boots, a yellow open-chested shirt with a popped collar, and a chain belt. And he had like blue jeans that were sometimes bell-bottoms.
They were totally bell-bottoms.
But they were also sometimes tucked into those flare top boots, which was quite a statement. And these accessories all fit much better in the era he was created, which was the 70s, the blaxploitation era. And as we move
Though I feel like
on,
Lakeith Stanfield could totally still pull off this look.
this look.
I did not mean to do that. But I feel like he totally could pull this off.
He really could.
Yeah.
He really could.
Yeah.
But the times change. And so now Luke Cage rocks a bald top, and he's got a yellow shirt. It's not always bulletproof, but it is always closed-chested.
It's to show off the muscles now.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a muscle shirt.
There's
it's like a workout muscle shirt now.
Yeah. And, you know, if people decide to test whether or not he really is bulletproof, I mean, his shirts don't always stand up to that.
Yeah.
But he's also got, sometimes he's got the silver gauntlets. We see those often. And then he's just got black pants and combat boots. And the Netflix show did take this a step further. We do get to see hints at the classic yellow. They teased it in Jessica Jones, and it really came up in the Power Man, or not the Luke Cage series. Jesus.
Yeah. It's fine. We can talk today.
But they also gave him a very symbolic modern move with the hoodie, the Carhartt style hoodie with the interior yellow lining, of course, indicative of his colors. But it was just a really cool move to then see the costume evolve that much further in the live action.
Right.
So Luke Cage had a quite radical change at number 8 on our list.
So number 7 on our list was really difficult for me because this one gets tricky. There are lots of changes to Spider-Man's spider suit that happen all the time.
And to be fair, we did a whole podcast on Spider-Man suits.
That's true. We did, which is why I'm not here to talk about the black suit, which is the most famous of all of them. Upgrades most recently have been in the video games. A lot of the PS4 costumes were amazing, including like the just generic one with the white spider logo was really slick.
I think they call the advanced suit.
The advanced suit, and then the Velocity suit, again with the Adi Granoff design. I feel like I'm just like going off on how much I love his artwork today. But in 2006, he most famously wore, during the Civil War comic series, the Iron Spider suit, which, P.S., for some reason, I thought was older than just 2006. I feel like it's older, but it's not. And it was to show his affiliation with Tony Stark in the Civil War dispute. So he was able to wear this Iron Spider suit that Tony Stark made for him. Later on, the suit was modified or duplicated and modified First for the Initiative, and then for Aaron Davis, who did wear the Iron Spider suit, a modification of it later. Aaron Davis, if you guys don't know, Miles Morales' uncle, who is the Prowler. It has also been worn by Mary Jane Watson on several occasions, especially when she got her spider powers in Spider Bite. So there you go. It's kind of like a nice evolution of the suit. It was done for a specific purpose, and there have been nods to it since then in the comics, and including most recently Infinity War. So the Iron Spider is definitely like a fan favorite type of suit change. And while Spider-Man is currently wearing his Friendly Neighborhood blue and red suit in Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, shout out to Tom Taylor. What up? That series is so good. This costume change was like an upgrade, so that's why I put it on the list. Number 7.
All right. Number 6 on our list may be, I think, in terms of both palette and what it signified for the character, one of the most radical flips we've got on this list.
Oh, for sure.
Number 6 on our list is Jessica Jones. Fans can actually catch a glimpse of Jessica Jones's original costume in the Netflix series, but you would not catch her dead wearing that suit. As a young woman, and now this is jumping to comics continuity, so it is a little different from the show. As a young woman, Jessica Jones was inspired by her classmate SpiderMan, even though she didn't quite know it was SpiderMan, to become a hero after she was involved in a car accident involving radioactive chemicals, and she woke up from a coma with superpowers. So, as a young girl, she picked her alias, and she was Jewel. She wore a white bodysuit that had no shoulder, but it was held up by a blue trim at the top. It's got a blue sash, and then, of course, she's got a pink jewel on her hip because that's her superhero name. And then she had bright pink hair. Yeah, so just take a minute, close your eyes, imagine, if you will. Think of like Kristen Ritter with bright pink hair and then the jewel suit, which she totally trash mouths in the series. Love it.
Absolutely.
But of course, post Kilgrave, she experiences not only just a change in her view as a hero, but just a whole change in her world view in general. So she trades in the bright colors for her now famous black leather jacket. In the series, she wears an oversized scarf. She's got those ripped jeans and combat boots and a perpetual frown. And she often accessorizes with a messenger bag, a camera, and a flask of whiskey close at hand at all times. But this was a cool thing that, like, I'm really glad they got a reference in the show to it, but it came at such a different point. Like, this could be you if you wanted to be a hero, but it's like, that's what she was. She was this bright and really vibrant hero who had a she had a joy of flying. She just kind of wanted to be a hero inspired by Spider-Man. And things just went wrong, and she traded in for a leather jacket, but she's still really cool, and she's still a hero in her own way. It's just a bit of a darker costume change for her. So number 6 on our list is Jessica Jones.
All right. Number 5 on our list. I didn't realize that I was doing 2 spider people in a row. Oops. But number 5 on our list is Silk. Because when you talk about like the impracticality of a superhero costume, Silk's first outfit when she appeared in Original Sin was made of silk, but like spider silk. So it was just spun, and while visually appealing to some, it was not the most practical of things. She was barefoot. And then she also has like one leg that's there, and then one leg that's not, one arm, and then like it's kind of a bathing suit cut, if you will, and also like exposes the midriff. Like it doesn't function at all unless it's made of something that immediately sticks to your body. So like, you know, shout out to all the cosplayers who attempt this costume, because man, like you guys have some talent there.
One of my friends, it was her first San Diego. She's like, that's the suit I want to do. And I'm like, are you serious?
Oh my gosh.
She did her best. She made it work.
Yeah, well, good for her. So the upgrade is kind of more in tune or in line or in fashion with the rest of the Spider-Verse. It is like the black, white, and red suit that has like the S in the middle and the webbing coming off of it, much like you see in comics nowadays. It does have a red bandana on it to hide her identity. She did get another brief white and yellow and a little bit of black look during a crossover event, but then she went back to the black, white, and red. But again, it's a full spider suit. So it looks a lot like Peter Parker's, except it doesn't have like a full spider head. It just has the mouthpiece that covers it. She looks kind of like a bandit, a little bit.
Instead of wrapped in silly string.
Yeah, instead of, yes, wrapped in her own silly string that she made herself. So and again, the thing that always gets me is like, fine, it's supposed to be spider webbing. It can stick to her. But the bare feet, man. You were like fighting crime.
Web some shoes.
Yeah, web some shoes. Or I mean, I know that the spider characters don't really wear shoes, but like cover your feet. Like you're in New York City. Like you could get cut by some glass. And
otherwise, hope you like swinging because you're not putting your feet down.
Oh my gosh. Or just like, what if you get your toe caught on something? There's so many like impracticalities with the bare feet, Silk. So number 5 on our list is Silk.
All right. Number 4 on our list has gone through about as many costume changes as she has name changes. This is Captain Marvel, or more specifically, Carol Danvers. Now, permit me, if you will, to kind of take us through a brief history of a lot of her costumes. Her costume has evolved with her code name every time. Her original Miss Marvel look was heavily inspired by her predecessor Marvel, except she had a bare midriff and bikini briefs. And when Dave Cockrum took over art duties on the book, he immediately fixed that. She still had the bikini cut, but he was like, we're closing that midriff. But you can see on the cover of Miss Marvel #1, it's just she's out in the middle of space, which is probably a little cold, and it's just straight midriff.
I thought about that during the movie at one point because she's barefoot in space. I'm obsessed with this whole like barefoot thing. And I was like, oh my God, your feet. Anyway, I don't like cold feet, but go ahead.
But the costume was the red and blue with the Hala star, very, very reminiscent of Marvel. And then when she became binary, she was literally fire. Yeah. Like her hair was on fire. Her skin was red. She had a white costume that was also partially on fire. Like it was just this living flame, which was really cool. But then she went back to, she had the one that's called Warbird, even though she wasn't Warbird.
That one's like painted on.
Yeah,
that one's completely impractical.
Yeah, Warbird, the costume that is referred to with that codename came before binary, but that's the updated Miss Marvel one. That is what is affectionately known as the swimsuit costume. And I think a lot of female
Is it even a swimsuit though? Does it cover what swimsuits cover? Like barely?
A lot of female superheroes have had the swimsuit. I mean, She-Hulk's first costume was a swimsuit. Storm has had a swimsuit costume, basically.
We can get into some of the DC ladies, but that's a later podcast.
For those eager to listen, we'll be doing a DC costume changes.
Yeah,
because I want to talk about those red trunks. Anyways, so the Warbird, that is the black with the golden bolt and then the red sash. So take it all up to 2012, and we've got superhero super artist Jamie McKelvey, and it's his turn to design the Captain Marvel suit, which is what we most closely see now in the MCU film. He kept it very close to reminiscent of classic Marvel, with the blue and the red swapped. So the blue and the red parts of her costume are opposite of what Marvel's classic blue and red were, but it's more of a practical suit rather than something
the scuba suit.
Yes. Everything else kind of looks flimsy in comparison to this. This suit has substance.
Well, if you're one of the most powerful characters in the Marvel universe, you should have, a suit that helps out and aids your superheroing, not takes away from it.
Yes. And of course, the design incorporates the Hala star, which is the 8-pointed star of the Kree. She got the red sash, which wasn't included in the film, but the red sash is pretty fabulous, and it made a comeback from her original Miss Marvel costume. And one of the most celebrated aspects of Jamie McKelvey's design is that Mohawk helmet, which is really cool. It was just such a fun design to see, and it's really cool because McKelvey's design, you can tell it's kind of segmented, so you can almost imagine how the helmet, bumped the microphone, how the helmet would segment onto her face, puts her hair up in a mohawk, and when she's got the longer hair, because in some iterations they do give her very short hair, but when she's got that mohawk going and the helmet and the hair is just flying through space. So that is a huge element of the Captain Marvel costume, but just all of that. She's been through a lot of costume changes, but leading up to Captain Marvel, Jamie McKelvey, incredible design. Like that is her ultimate costume change. I don't know where anyone can go after that.
Yeah, for real.
All right, so Captain Marvel is number 4 on our list.
Number 3 on our list
We got most of the Defenders on this list.
I know. I just noticed that too.
They're really unfortunate.
But they do have some really unfortunate costumes. But this one really only went through one major change. However, it was probably for the best because for number 3, Daredevil, anything was going to be better than what he started with. So the first 6 issues of Daredevil, he had one of the most atrocious costumes in all of comics. It was a yellow onesie catsuit tights, like what a wrestler would wear. But then it had like another onesie that was black on top of it with a giant red D in the middle. So like picture all the layers of costume this would have to entail.
The red and yellow just, I'm like, it's ketchup and mustard, dude. But you look like ketchup and mustard.
But yes. And then I just am like, so wait, so he put on a bright yellow catsuit that's full length from like ankles to wrists to neck. And then he was like, you know what? Probably should put another costume on over this. It's like to me, it was kind of like a kid who dresses himself to be his own superhero. And that's what Daredevil did. But so basically anything would have been better. So after his first 6 issues, that went away and came back what is essentially the same iteration of the costume that we always see, the red with the horns and full armor, the batons. Sometimes there's red trunks that match, sometimes there's not. That kind of always is just a little variation, but mostly what we've seen since then, except, Daredevil Yellow happened in like 2003, I believe. Isn't that around when it was? Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale decided, you know what needed to come back? That yellow costume. And it made me want to go like, what?
With the way that Daredevil has evolved as a character and our producer just pointed out on a sign, he's blind. Can you blame him? No, we can't necessarily blame him. We're going to blame the artists.
Yeah.
But it represents an evolution in his character because you do have a guy named Daredevil. Uh-huh. So is he going to be super ostentatious? Is he going to be the guy who's out in broad daylight?
Right.
Or is he going to be more like he is now, where he takes more of the devil part instead of the dare? And so he's lurking in the shadows. He is this scourge of Hell's Kitchen.
See, I think of him as his name is like Daredevil, like he dares the devil. Like, because he's so religiously.
That's true.
He's so religiously inclined.
Unfortunately, and I'm gonna put this into all of your heads because I've had to live with it ever since someone said it to me. His name is also Red Evil. he's Red Evil.
Oh my god!
And I can't not
I
see
love
that.
That's amazing.
Somebody said that to me once, and I'm like, I have not slept well since
Red
that
Evil.
day. Yes,
oh my god, I like that.
And then we even get a step further with Shadowlands.
Yeah, and then he goes all black.
He goes all black, and
with
even
still a red D though.
Yeah,
he can't get rid of the red D.
Just in case anyone
doesn't know who he is. That whole DD on his. That was always my only problem with the costume. I know that Superman and Batman and a lot of them do it.
But not a lot of Marvel heroes do.
No.
Not a lot of Marvel heroes put their initials on their costumes necessarily.
None of the ones on our list do.
Except for Silk has
Silk
the S.
has the S. But SpiderMan has a spider.
Yeah, but it's not an SM.
SM.
That'd be weird.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so number 3 on our list, Daredevil.
We're picking on him. I feel bad.
Sorry, Daredevil. Well, I think the next one's going to get picked on a little bit harder.
I think he deserves it.
I think.
All right. Number 2 on our list. I'll start by saying you can take a man out of the circus, but sometimes you just can't take the circus out of the man. Number 2 on our list is Hawkeye. Hawkeye has been through some incredibly regrettable costume changes leading up to what we now see as the more modern suit. Of course, he debuted originally as an Iron Man villain, and he had that classic purple suit with the big winged mask with an H on his forehead.
An H on his forehead.
That's
and
fair.
A skirt.
Yeah, I was gonna say if Marvel heroes do the insignia, it's on their helmets.
Yeah.
But anyways, and yes, the purple skirt. The purple skirt got worse though.
Yeah, the purple skirt did get worse, and then he got chainmail, or not chainmail. What's it called? The feathering kind of.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, but I don't have the fashion wherewithal to describe that.
Uh-huh.
But anyways, Well, most people actually do see his original costume as like, hey, that's not the worst one he's had. It's a pretty cool costume for the trick shot archer. His character has changed a lot, but he did have kind of a mushy middle phase before we got to the cool updated costume. Two of the most notable ones are after Hank Pym finished with the Goliath mantle, Hawkeye took on the mantle of Goliath, and he rocked a blue belt and a body harness, an upper body harness. He had no shirt on. It was just over the shoulders, around the chest, big blue harness and a big blue belt, and then pants. And
at least he's in pants.
Yes, thank goodness.
Because I can't imagine
because sometimes we have Hawkeye
doing flips.
I was going to say, sometimes we have Hawkeye not wearing pants. Thank you, Matt Fraction and David Aya.
That's true. That's true. Oh my God, that's true. That's true. Sometimes Hawkeye doesn't wear bottoms.
But the Goliath, and then he had like a kind of Gambit style headpiece that covered the face but left the hair on top. And then after that, as if that couldn't get any worse, he went back to being Hawkeye, and he told everyone, "I am Hawkeye." He was rocking a what can only be described as like a robe, like a purple robe that transitions into a miniskirt, open chest. It's got some embroidery.
Well, yeah, it was supposed to sort of look like from like Robin Hood era, but it did not.
Completely missed that mark.
But what the Robin Hood from the 30s, like Errol Flynn, like that type of Robin Hood.
Yeah,
but it was purple with embroidery.
Purple with embroidery and open chest. And open chest all the way down to the navel, and then it was finished off with a purple miniskirt and a really weird-looking quiver for his arrows. I'm not going to describe it here, but it was just not good looking.
Yeah.
And to finish it all off, he had a headband and a blonde mullet. So,
can we see Jeremy Renner play that character?
Yes, I hope so. But the look that enough ragging on Hawkeye.
Yeah.
The look most fans tend to associate with him now is the Ultimates comics design, which gave him a sleek, sleeveless black bodysuit with the purple but also kind of red accents.
Yeah, it was like a deeper purple too. It wasn't so much a pink purple.
Right, because the original Hawkeye stuff was really blue purple, and this was a deep red purple.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't know how to describe color names.
Well, you'll see it in the blog.
Yes, and he had sunglasses that matched, and he had a really cool compound bow that had laser sights, so he looked like a really sleek, covert archer who you could believe was an operative of S.H.I.E.L.D. or working on his own. And this is what inspired his kind of Avengers look in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So this was the cooler costume where you would take this guy more seriously as an archer. And then I love the Matt Fraction, David Aya.
Oh, I like that one
because he doesn't really have a formal costume in that. Yeah. It's a purple shirt and slacks and bandages on his nose because he's kind of depressed and he's just doing his best to just be a normal. He's the most human Avenger.
Oh, totally.
But he seriously needed to reconsider. But Marvel Cinematic Universe, if you're looking for ideas,
definitely
rock a mullet. Anyways, Hawkeye is number 2 on our list.
Okay. So now that we've gotten all of this out of the way, we're down to our number 1 costume upgrade in the Marvel Universe. And it had to be Iron Man. And it had to be Iron Man because if no other reason, he has literal costume upgrades.
Like on the regular.
Like software upgrades as well sometimes. So, it became literal. So this was an inevitable number 1. So if you talk about just the MCU, you start at the Mark 1 in the cave to the Mark 50 with nanobots. That is quite the upgrade. And all of the suits in between. But in the comics, the same thing has happened. A lot of the suits are based on necessity of whatever situation Tony Stark is in, whether or not he needs to fight someone kind of more intergalactic. He needs his space suit, which we see as like Star Boost in the movies, which is one of the great things about Iron Man 3 is you get all these nods to the different types of Iron Man suits that have been in the comics.
Which haven't been as properly numbered over the years as they're in the comics. They're usually referred to by a nickname primarily.
Nickname, exactly, like Star Boost or something like that. So again, Adi Granoff and the Extremis armor was a really great upgrade that happened. And then also the very classic looking Silver Centurion that happened, I think, in the 70s or 80s.
Something
like late 70s, early 80s. But overall, the ultimate upgrade in costuming for the Marvel Universe, cinematic or comic books, is Iron Man.
Yeah, going from the Mark 1 where we started with
where he like made it himself. I mean, he made all of them himself, but you know what I mean? Like he actually like in a cave made it himself to, you know, developing new technology in order to make suits for other people like you have, and then the expansion of that into like War Machine and Iron Legion and Rescue and everything.
Do you have a favorite Iron Man suit?
I do.
Which one?
I love Igor.
Oh.
Because he's cute, and when Hot Toys made the Igor figure, you could carry it like a baby. It was really cute, and I had like Igor on my hip. Anyway.
Oh my goodness.
Plus he's blue, and I really like blue. Blue's my favorite color.
Okay,
so, yeah.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm torn between two because I know or I'm pretty sure I know its number. Now I'm doubting myself.
Yeah.
In the comics, I think it's the Mark 42.
It's the caffeine-free Diet Coke one.
What? The what?
It looks like a caffeine-free Diet Coke can.
Is that the gold and black one?
Oh, I don't.
Maybe that's the Mark 20. Oh, shoot. See, the comics ones aren't labeled very well.
Because Mark 42 in the movies is the one that's the like gold and silver and red.
Oh,
but like it's like a bronze kind of gold, so that's why it looks like a caffeine-free Diet Coke.
Maybe it's the Mark 20. It's the one that's black and gold.
That one's awesome.
That one's really cool.
That one's really cool.
But I also love. I mean, we've all met the Hulkbuster in the films, which is what a feat of
I know
cinematic engineering.
Exactly.
But in the comic books, Iron Man's pretty prepared because he also has one called the Thorbuster.
Yeah.
And he's kind of prepared to fight all of his friends just in case.
I mean, you need contingency plans. That's a god and an unstoppable gamma radiated machine.
Yeah. That one's pretty cool though because it incorporates the Destroyer armor. But there are so many costume changes we could talk about for Iron Man.
I know. But that's why he's number one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a really great list. We covered a lot of ground from comedy to practicality to a literal upgrade.
Yeah. Oh, I feel so bad. Some of these were like they really were a product of their time. But it is cool to evaluate how the design change has evolved the character not only from like a practical artist standpoint, but like what type of heroing are they doing? Like with Daredevil and Luke Cage and
But beyond that, you also what's really cool is even if they are a product of their time when they were created, how do you it's cool to watch the artists like update that, like Jamie McKelvey with Captain Marvel. Like how do you take nods from her classic? She has had like by the time he took over 40 years of comic books, and like he did a perfect job of incorporating all of her history but still making it something new. So it's an important part of comic book evolution, I feel, anyway.
So pay attention to superhero costume upgrades because you never know what they might tell you. So, to recap our list, number 10 is Squirrel Girl, number 9 is Elektra, number 8 is Luke Cage, number 7 is SpiderMan, number 6 is Jessica Jones, number 5 is Silk, number 4 is Captain Marvel, number 3 is Daredevil, number 2 is Hawkeye, and number 1 is Iron Man. So, was our list perfectly accessorized, or should we hang this one in the back of the closet and start all over? If we missed someone that you think should be on the list, be sure to check out our blog and send us your opinions at podcasts@geeksideshow.com. And that was our top 10 costume changes in Marvel Comics. Do you enjoy the Geek Culture Countdown? We are proud to bring you pop culture content completely ad-free, but that doesn't mean we don't need your support to help keep us going. Please take a moment to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting platform and help spread the word about our podcast. We welcome fan feedback. Email us at podcasts@sideshow.com with your thoughts and suggestions for how we can make our shows even better. Plus, tune in for our other pop culture podcasts. See your favorite comic and film characters evolve across 2 generations in the bi-weekly Then and Now podcast. Hear exclusive interviews with celebrities and pop culture industry leaders as they let their geek side show in Look Who Showed Up. Then get all the latest pop culture news with our daily briefing, a 2-minute breakdown of all the biggest geek headlines perfect for your Alexa or Google News briefings. We wouldn't exist without your continued support. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to let your geek side show.